I just watched arguably the worst WrestleMania of all time. And it's not as bad as I remember. It's worse. I know technically it's not the worst WrestleMania of all time. That title probably belongs to the very early ones, especially if you're watching in 2024. But you would think that by 27 they figured it out. No they did not. So you might be scratching your head. The great one, buddy, out of all the WrestleManias, why would you watch this one? All of a sudden you thought, you know what? I wanna see Snooki performing one more time. No. Well, maybe. But I just opened WWE Network and thought, you know what? I'm feeling that WrestleMania 40 energy. I wanna watch a WrestleMania to prepare. And there's so much cool stuff that happened at WrestleMania. I was like, I'm going to have a great time. And I took it a step further. Why don't I make a video out of it? So I asked you guys, which WrestleMania should I watch? And of course, you chose WrestleMania 27. What can I say except... you too, man. WrestleMania 27 is kinda special to me because I've been watching WWE since 2004, but around 2010, I got that instant access to WWE programming, so I got to watch WrestleMania 27 the day after it happened. But even then, I think I realized this shit f***ing sucks. So I just watched the pay-per-view a few hours ago, and I gotta tell you, nostalgia is one hell of a drug, and this pay-per-view is a lot worse than I thought. There are a lot of good things I could say about this WrestleMania, but some of the decisions are just absolutely mind-blowing. Some of the worst finishes I've ever seen. And it feels like the whole WrestleMania just focused on one big segment. And also, I really loved The Rock in 2011 when he came back. I feel like he was so entertaining. Looking back at it now, his Raw promos were good, but this was not as good as I remember. Honestly, this was kinda trash. The last time I've seen full matches was back in 2011. I honestly didn't think WWE could get that bad. So today we're looking back at WrestleMania 27, obviously trying to finish the story right here, which is 500,000 subscribers. So like this video if you want more pay-per-view reviews, and make sure to subscribe if you already didn't. That means a lot to me. Welcome back to the channel. America's beautiful, we love America. The Rock makes his way into the ring. Oh man, when I tell you it was long, it was long. It's like your Coco after you click that like button for the 10th time. 59 inches. And that was 59 inches of the cock, man. Oh my god. Normally, I wouldn't complain. Like, now we love that shit, right? Let me sum up this what feels like an hour-long promo in like 20 seconds. Finally! We are making history! I say Russell, you say Mania! Doesn't it feel good to be at Mania? We love Mania! This is going to be the greatest WrestleMania of all time! Let me drink some water, the people's water! Makes the thing, doesn't it? Water that comes from people. So, piss! And then he talked, and talked, and talked. And normally I wouldn't mind that. Like, I love the Legends segment at WrestleMania 30. But this wasn't it, man. This was just a bunch of nothing. But now it's time for WrestleMania, and the first match was Alberto Del Rio versus Edge. It was really nice seeing Christian and Edge making an entrance together. Brodus Clay and Christian were acting like managers, and I gotta tell you, it's a lot more interesting watching this match right now, knowing the backstory, because obviously this is the last Edge's match in the WWE. Well, before he made his return like years later. And they hit all the right moves. The match wasn't bad. I mean, it opened WrestleMania, so people were really into it. It's Edge, people love Edge, but I wish I could go back in time and tell WWE, you know what, you should probably do Edge versus Christian instead. No reason, just saying. And looking at the bill, it seems like that's what they were going for in the future. The biggest Royal Rumble of all time. I remember Del Rio won and I was like, fuck that shit, man. And I like Del Rio, kinda. We got his spear and Edge takes the W, retains the World Heavyweight Championship. And of course, you gotta create that WrestleMania moment. And you do that by destroying Alberto Del Rio's car. Man, what a bad day for Alberto Del Rio. Wasted his Royal Rumble victory and lost his car. But I'm not sure why he's crying so much, considering that his whole gimmick is that I'm rich. And that shit doesn't even matter to me. The good thing is, while watching this match, I was like, what a trip down memory lane. Like, I remember watching this as a kid, so at least I got that. Then we got Rey Mysterio versus undashing Cody Rhodes. I almost want to say this is the hidden gem of the pay-per-view, yet at the same time, it's not necessarily a match you gotta go back and watch. You could simply skip this one. And I was always confused by the reason Cody is wearing the mask. I think WWE tried to tell you that under this mask, he's hideous. At least Cody feels like he's hideous. But like, that doesn't make any sense. He looks the same. And I feel like that's exactly what the commentator is trying to tell you, that, you know, he's hideous. With a simple change, it could make a lot more sense. Cody has to wear the mask. That's why he feels like he's not dashing anymore, because of the hideous mask, not because what's under the mask. I feel like the match was enough. It gave you these WrestleMania moments. For example, Cody losing the mask, Rey Mysterio struggling but still putting on that mask and using it as a weapon because, I mean, it's part of the attire, I guess. But Cody used his knee brace, crossroads, and won the match, which I totally forgot about. I watched this match as if it's the first time I'm seeing it. And you could still tell WWE had high hopes for Cody Rhodes, because first of all, he was at WrestleMania, he beat Rey Mysterio, and that's a big deal. You know, one thing that pissed me off about this pay-per-view is that barely any championships got defended. Before we jump into this classic, let me give you some interesting WrestleMania 27 facts. WWE wanted to have Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, that's why we got this stare down at UFC, but we ended up getting Brock Lesnar 2 years later. Sting turned down a match against The Undertaker, so that's really unfortunate because we could have gotten this match at WrestleMania 27. What sucks even more, these guys both wrestled at WrestleMania 31, and we still didn't get that match. Edge's career-ending MRI took place the day after WrestleMania. Realistically, if he took that MRI like days earlier, we would have probably gotten Christian versus Del Rio for the World Championship. Vince McMahon thought this was the worst WrestleMania match of all time. No. The plan was for The Undertaker and Triple H to go on last, which is one of the biggest mistakes of this WrestleMania. Didn't you learn from WrestleMania 25? The Miz suffered a concussion during the barricade spot, and while watching this match, you can actually tell that The Miz is not all there. And it's the only WrestleMania where no belts changed hands. Well, kinda easy when you only have 2 championships being defended. Oh, and also the pre-show. Kinda get that. Okay, let's talk about this extravaganza. When I was a kid, I didn't think that match was bad, but I've heard people saying, oh my god, this sucked. So I'm watching the match, okay, maybe this is not that bad, and it ends. Oh. That was it. So basically it was shorter than The Undertaker's entrance then. Don't worry though, they got to do this. You know, whatever that means. You know, well, yay! Whatever that means, you know. Maybe it's a sign of victory. I won the match! And also the wrong team won. They had nothing to gain out of this. We got a funny segment of The Rock making "this woman is old" references. Face off between The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, which was just that. Now when it comes to CM Punk versus Randy Orton, I feel like the story was a lot better than the match itself. Like, again, they hit all the right moves. I was entertained by it, but it's not a match I would go back and watch. And these two are like my favorite wrestlers of all time, right? I really like the finish though. We got a failed punt kick, Orton missed an RKO, and of course, the only reason you should be rewatching this match, or at least the ending. One of the best RKOs at that point. So Randy Orton takes the W. Hate to say it, the wrong man won. I was enjoying Randy Orton's work, but it felt like turning him into a babyface just took all of his personality away. Okay, so I like Michael Cole as a heel, I always did. It's cringy, it's bad. That's the point. And this is one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time. We saw Jack Swagger looking like Biff from Back to the Future, Stone Cold Steve Austin as the special guest referee. You know, at points I was like, this is actually a lot of fun. The problem was, it should have been like 80% shorter. I don't mind these goofy ass moments in the WWE, you know, from time to time. I'd rather have shitty wrestling than boring wrestling, but watching Michael Cole hitting these wrestling moves was just the worst thing you could possibly imagine. It seemed like we did get a good ending. Stone Cold Steve Austin acted like he can't hear. Eventually, Jerry wins the match. It's a celebration. Even Booker T received a Stone Cold Stunner. Remember how I said some of the finishes were just absolutely mind-blowing? Anonymous general manager says that since Stone Cold Steve Austin interfered, the winner is Michael Cole. Okay, I get that, but wasn't that supposed to be like the conclusion? Like, what's the point of doing that? Exactly, what's the point? By the way, Michael Cole is undefeated at WrestleMania. Jerry Lawler is, and that was the only WrestleMania match he had. And they just beat the shit out of the messenger for no reason. If this was like a 5-minute kind of a segment/match, I think that would have been fine, but this was so long. By far the match of the night, one of the best Undertaker's matches I've ever seen, Triple H versus The Undertaker. It's been a while since I've seen that one. What makes this match so different for me is like, I've been watching WWE for so many years, but I appreciated all the little things, and when we got these crazy ass spots, I actually popped, man. I guess I forgot how good these two were. As a matter of fact, I feel like this is a very underrated match, and it also also told a very good story. It seemed like Triple H was more prepared, he was stronger, but he still lost the match by tapping out. But when the match ends, Triple H is the one who leaves on his own 2 feet, and The Undertaker couldn't stand up. I think it told a pretty good story, and that's why next year The Undertaker wanted a match against Triple H, because, you know, I won the match, but more like technically. So if you're wondering if you should rewatch WrestleMania 27, I feel like that's the only match you should. Okay, that's hilarious. You saw that match? Great, right? Triple H, Undertaker, wow, these two were great. How could you even follow that match? Well, Snooki, good luck. Morrison, Trish Stratus, and Snooki versus Dolph Ziggler and Lay Cool. Made me realize we got John Morrison and Dolph Ziggler in the same ring at WrestleMania. Totally forgot about that, but I'm a big fan of these two guys, so that made me happy until I actually watched the match. So this was a lot of action, a lot of things are happening. And then it ends so quickly, and it's not like I'm complaining, but who produced these matches? Snooki hits this kind of a decent move to Michelle, but look people, that was the finish! I'm not even joking, that was the finish. This was the finish. Like, why? Why? I forgot how bad WWE could get, ladies and gentlemen. The best thing about John Cena versus The Miz, well, it's the fact that it ended, but the second best thing is Miz's video package. They almost fooled you that this main event makes sense. As a big fan of The Miz, now I'm happy he main evented WrestleMania. As a fan of pro wrestling, this made no goddamn sense. This is not a WrestleMania main event. I'm sorry, man. This is not a WrestleMania main event. So I'm watching this match and I'm like, this kinda sucks. This is boring. I hate the way John Cena sells and sometimes oversells it, yet at the same time undersells it. But going in, I was like, this is going to be the worst WrestleMania match of all time, and I was wrong. I was kinda started to enjoy it, you know? Even though I was watching this for like almost 4 hours now, I was like, this is not that bad. By the way, what is he carrying in that briefcase? I remember The Miz won Money in the Bank, and Alex Riley was like, I need a briefcase too. What's in it? What's the point? So I was enjoying the match, we got the barricade spot, and they got counted out. Why? Why? It should have been simplified, like, a lot, but what we got is just overbooked mess. The Rock, the host of WrestleMania, stole the show and nobody asked for it. So we see The Rock, he read the email. As the general manager, I think, it doesn't matter what you think, which was the best thing The Rock did that night. He restarts the match and instantly attacks John Cena, so The Miz retains the championship. What was the point? What was the point? Just take out the ref, rock bottom, and you could do the same thing. Obviously, Cena is not gonna lose clean against The Miz. And I still stand by this, The Undertaker and Triple H should have main evented this show. Whatever, The Rock gets back into the ring, beats the shit out of The Miz, and that was your WrestleMania. This was a one-match show. It really was. The Undertaker versus Triple H. Randy vs CM Punk was okay, Rey Mysterio versus Cody was fine, but it has an interesting vibe, like they want to have this extravaganza, and the quality of the matches, it seemed like they didn't even matter to Vince McMahon. He just wanted to create these memories, but it's not like it was good. So is it the worst WrestleMania of all time? I don't know. What I need from you guys is for you to recommend me, not a very old WrestleMania, but from like 22, you know, that you think is worse than 27, and I'll compare it, because this was bad. My rating for WrestleMania 27 would be 4 out of 10, and Bret Hart is very proud of that. Even with all the dog shit, a couple of matches were fine, and we got The Undertaker versus Triple H. But again, the bad stuff was so bad, I can't give you 5 out of 10. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and also let me know which WrestleMania I should rewatch, and the most liked comment will be the video. Thank you for watching The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.